What's up? Yeah. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. A Fitness Live every Sunday, 12 Eastern Time. Today we're talking about pyramid sets, pros and cons of pyramid sets. Thank you, Jay Fit, for the request. So we're going to roll on. We're going to do the pros and cons of pyramid sets today. But as always, you can ask any questions anytime.
Updates. Just kidding. I don't know if we have any updates for you guys, but I am so excited. We're getting ready to go into Christmas next week. So I know James and I have kicked off some of our favorite family holiday traditions. So last night we were actually baking cookies with our daughter. It's one of our favorite things to do this time of year. So totally a lot of fun. But you have to be careful, right? Like if you're baking 4 or 5 dozen cookies, you have to make sure you're not eating all of the cookies. You got to save some for Santa.
Big T, what's up, baby? Yeah.
So yeah, we're excited to go into next week, do some of our Christmas Eve things. And I'm sure many of you watching also have traditions and things. I'd love to hear from you guys on what your favorite Christmas holiday traditions are with your family and friends.
Yes, whatever you celebrate, happy holidays, happy Christmas, happy whatever you celebrate, we would love to hear what you guys' traditions are. That'd be fantastic. We just told you one of ours.
Yeah.
And Kylie's on. What's up,
Kylie?
Yeah.
I'm going to get knocked out with all of these flexies he's doing over here. All right. Terrence says he smoked from delts and shoulders and trap workout. Nice.
This morning, Big T. My man.
Awesome. So yeah, I really love the requests on pyramid sets and reverse pyramid sets. This is something that's come up a couple of times. I think we actually have a long format video on the different types of pyramid sets and things that you could do, supersets, drop sets. So definitely check that out. We'll even, we can toss a link up for you on that. But specifically, you know, today we're going to get into why are pyramid sets so popular. You know, and I agree, there is a lot of versatility there that you can apply across your training program. And I think that's what makes it so popular. So we'll get into a little bit of that. We'll talk about their presence in classic bodybuilding routines, as well as how that may impact a strength routine today. But yeah, like, you know, we want to hear from you guys. So have you guys ever really felt stuck in deciding between, you know, pyramid sets, reverse pyramid sets, or supersets, drop sets? I mean, there's so many different applications for trying to like achieve your goal. So I want to hear about some of those sticking points for you guys.
So yeah, there's a lot of intensifying techniques out there. Pyramid sets is just one of them.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I know for me personally, I have tried pyramid sets from time to time. So we'll talk about our own personal experience with trying to incorporate that into our programs and our own training. And so we would definitely love to hear from you guys too on how you've tried to implement it, whether it be good or bad. You know, you can let us know.
Yeah.
So with that, I guess we'll go ahead and get into the topic then. So what exactly is a pyramid set?
What is a pyramid set?
So we're talking just regular standard pyramid set. This is typically the gradual progression that allows for better control and form of the weights as you increase. So example, like in your training, you would be trying to achieve almost like a 1 rep max. So you would start very low weight, high rep, and as you start to gradually increase in weight, the rep range would go down. And that's what kind of forms that pyramid.
That was a little bit confusing, y'all. Let me break it down for you. Ready?
Break it down for us.
You do a set of 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. That's the top of the pyramid.
But you're increasing weight each time.
Increasing weight each time. Same exercise each time, et cetera, et cetera. Very dry, very simple. You add weight every set. You lower the reps every set until you hit the top pinnacle, which is 1 rep.
I think one of the things that I think people get kind of wrapped around the axle with the pyramid sets is they'll start looking on the internet and they'll start seeing things like, you know, you got to do 40% of your 1 rep max and then 60 and then 70 and then 80. And it's like,
get your calculator
out. Like, well, what am I like? and I think that's what really muckies it up for a lot of people, and they think it's a lot more complex of a technique than it needs to be.
So yes, pyramid sets are traditionally a powerlifting technique, which is why they're using percentages of the one rep max.
Right.
If you ask a powerlifter what their 40% is at one rep max, they probably know right away. Boom, they know the weight.
Right.
It's their sport. You ask a bodybuilder what 40% of one rep max is, and they're going, huh? I don't know.
Like,
let me get the calculator out.
I've definitely never been asked that, but so kind of in the inverse, there's also the reverse pyramid set. So this is when you go in, you do like your really heavy weight, low reps, and then you would step down in weight and increase rep range. So it's the exact opposite of what a standard pyramid set is. And again, it's pretty optimal for hitting those strength goals in a short amount of time. But you do need to warm up properly. And so we'll get through that today. But I definitely wanted to upfront kind of define what a standard pyramid set was compared to a reverse.
So standard is up, reverse is down. You start at your heaviest one rep max.
In the reverse.
And then you go lighter for 2, lighter for 4, lighter for 6, lighter for 8, lighter for 10.
Yeah.
That's a reverse pyramid.
So hopefully that part like level sets everyone. You guys now know what a pyramid set is, reverse pyramid set. So now we can kind of get into what are some of the key differences between the two.
Pros and cons.
Yeah. Well, let's just talk about like muscle fiber recruitment and the difference between the standard pyramid set and the reverse. So like when you're talking a regular pyramid set, the focus is more on this like slow progression, which helps to, because you're doing such high reps to start with at low rate, weight, you're really using those slow twitch muscle fibers, your endurance fibers. These are the ones that can go on and on forever. And so it takes a while to burn those out. So.
Right. So anytime you're using less than max intensity weight, you're going to use the endurance muscles. You're not going to recruit the big muscle fibers that you need.
Yeah, your type 2, your fast twitch, which if you're trying to target hypertrophy, you really want to be targeting those type 2 fibers. If you're going for more of like an endurance type sport, then really focusing on the type 1 muscle fibers is beneficial. So that's just one thing to consider, that when you're doing the slow progression ramp up, high volume, low weight, slowly ticking up in weight, and less reps, you're really activating and really fatiguing those type 1 fibers. So just something to consider. And the reverse pyramid is the exact opposite, because you're placing that demand, that mechanical tension on the muscle fibers. So automatically you're pulling in those type 2 fibers to come in and assist and complete the lift.
You all probably already figured this out, but your first reverse pyramid set is a rest pause. You're using your max weight for 1 rep. You're just not rest pausing. You do the 1 rep and you're done. Then you lighten the weight and do more.
Yeah. So with in terms of like fatigue, your regular pyramid set uses lighter sets to kind of build momentum, whereas the reverse pyramid set is like maximum output right away when the body is fresh, which can lead to, quicker burnout of that tissue, so you spend a little less time in the gym. In fact, a lot of like the Mike Mentzer style heavy duty training reminds me of reverse pyramid sets, because after the warm up, he's telling you to go in and like hit your max, but then he stops there. He doesn't say, do back off sets and keep working back down. But yeah, that's just what comes to mind when I think of reverse pyramid.
I mean, why not the back off sets?
I mean, so Mike Mentzer just believes that it's junk volume at that point, that you already created the mechanisms to trigger hypertrophy. So at that point, you're better suited to go home and let recovery happen versus keep going.
I might have got ahead of myself there. We talked about this last week, right? You turn the light switch on. It's on. Your muscle building biology is on. You don't have to turn it off and turn it back on again.
Right.
You don't flicker the lights. You just turn them on and they're on. Same thing with build muscle. Once you do that breakthrough set, it's on.
Right.
You don't have to do another set.
All right. Yeah. I think he might have got ahead of himself.
Apologies.
We'll definitely circle back to what our opinions of doing pyramid sets and reverse sets are, but for now, more pros and cons. And I see we have more people that have joined us. So if you have any questions, even if it's outside of pyramid sets, fire away. We'll answer them for you.
Big T smoke from doing shoulders this morning. I like it. And traps.
Definitely. So one of the things that comes to mind for me for a standard pyramid set would be the mind muscle connection. Like as you're doing that higher rep range at the lighter weight, you have more time to focus on activating and targeting the muscle group. So if you're looking to build that mind muscle connection with your muscles, that's a really great way to do that. And then of course, there's this slow kind of build up to the fatigue. It's not one of these like rapid things. So sometimes that's okay too. But yeah.
The traditional pyramid set, to me, you're just warming up until you get to that one rep.
Pretty much.
There are warm-up sets up to that point, right? Whether you're using 40%, 80%, 70%, it's just a warm-up set.
Right.
Till you reach that peak.
I think because of that, it's also easier to progressive overload. I mean, you're basically adding reps or weight every week within your pyramid set. So that would definitely be an easy way to track the progressive overload.
It would. I mean, you don't see pyramid sets very many people doing pyramid sets, by the way.
Right. That's true. So in terms of cons, I do think sometimes there's diminished kind of returns at the higher weights because of how much you're fatigued. Like
jump volume.
Yeah, like you've already fatigued, dumped all of your energy into those high reps, lightweight. And so when it comes to actually perform at the higher rep ranges that are actually going to trigger that hypertrophy, it's like, yeah, you might be fatigued and not able.
If you're using 80% of your one rep max, you're going to get fatigued.
Yeah. And I do think that like the early light sets may not be effective from like a strength focused goal. So if you're trying to build strength and we're not talking hypertrophy, then that might not make sense for you either.
To build up? Yeah,
to do that like lightweight build up to the heavier sets. Like if you're truly trying to build strength, you would want to go straight to the heavier sets, in my opinion.
As soon as you warm up.
Yeah.
Angel said pyramids are good, especially if you don't have a lot of time. Good time-saving technique. He's correct on that. If all you're doing is a pyramid set and going home, that's a pretty short day.
Right. Yeah. So if I were doing that, Angel, I would probably try to warm up and then do a reverse pyramid. So I come in, I'm fresh, I hit that max weight, I do some back off sets to I guess make sure I'm really fatigued and burnt out, and then I would
pump sets.
Pump set. Yeah, and then I would walk out of the gym. So, but you're right; it's a really effective technique if you are short on time.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say it again: that one rep max, as long as you add in weight, that's your breakthrough set. You did it
right.
And that will create trauma. That will create hypertrophy. As long as you're recording and you are going up every week, even if it's one rep, you're still creating trauma and gains.
So Tina says, what about if you do the heavier weight first and then do a drop set because it will help you get the pump?
What we just said?
Yeah,
pump sets, baby.
It's basically what you're doing at that point.
I mean, you're right, Tina. One rep, you're not going to get pumped. You're not.
Right.
You might get pumped warming up before you do your one rep max, but doing one rep max weight isn't going to give you much of a pump. And I know a lot of people crave that pump. They love that pump. I do too.
Well, outside of the pump, like one rep's not going to create hypertrophy. So we need a little more
strength.
Yeah, we need a little more time under tension for that. So doing those back off sets could help in that regard.
Big T, he says he'll do pyramid sets if he's in a pinch for time, just like Angel.
Yeah.
But need to get my workout in, but put in max effort. Way to go. I mean, we're talking one rep. It's at the top of the pyramid. But again, if you're doing more weight every single week with that one rep, you're making gains. You're making strength gains.
So one thing I will say about the traditional, I mentioned one of the pros was establishing that mind-muscle connection. So with that being said, those that benefit, I think, the most from doing a traditional pyramid set are typically beginners because it's helping establish more time to correctly perform the exercise and meld with your muscles so you can feel them, make sure you're squeezing what you need to squeeze and activating what you need to activate. So
I'll second that. Now I'll put a little bit more to it. When you're doing pyramid sets, almost always it's a fundamental exercise.
That's true.
It's with a squat. It's with a deadlift. It's with a bench press. You're not doing isolation pyramid sets, right? So these are going to help beginners master these moves. So that is going to be another plus.
Right.
You will master your fundamentals, the fundamentals of bodybuilding, if you do pyramid sets with the fundamental exercises. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think, if you're looking at bodybuilders specifically, it could help focus on hypertrophy through controlled fatigue because of that slow ramp up. Like you're able to really focus on like exactly when you're going to reach that fatigue point and can dial that in a little bit. But again, I think that the biggest bang for the buck is for those beginners, maybe even, slightly intermediate lifters where they're trying to establish all of that neuromuscular efficiency and the like. All right, reverse sets. So let's talk a little bit about pros for reverse sets. Again, we talked about it. It's maximum effort right away. So this
before fatigue.
It allows you to lift heavy weights before the fatigue sets in with the lighter set. So you can really put that quality of work in those heavy sets that are going to lead to hypertrophy. So I think that that's, really great benefit there. I think you still have pretty good time under tension as long as you are kind of doing those back off sets, and that does aid with hypertrophy for sure.
And the pump.
And then I think sometimes it's funny. It's like a mental thing, right? Like mentally, like if you're doing it the opposite way, you're kind of like, oh crap, I'm getting to that 1 rep max, like really heavy thing. But something about knowing the heavy set's already done, it's like you can all of a sudden just laser focus into those lighter sets. It's like not intimidating anymore. So.
And you can give it all you got on your 1 rep max.
Right.
Going up the pyramid, you're going to hold back a little bit, hold back a little bit, hold back a little bit. You start at the top, you give it your max right off the bat. You're not holding back anything. And then you go down.
Yeah. One thing too, we talked about this, like because you're doing that really heavy set first, and you're probably doing this with your compound exercises, the recovery time, might be a little longer than it would be for traditional hypertrophy workout. So it could take longer in the gym if you're doing a bunch of exercises this way or something. So just something to consider.
Oh, here we go. Angel says a pyramid light to heavy, then back to light with short breaks in between.
Ooh, that's nasty, Angel.
So his pyramid looks like this, up and down. Not just up, not just down.
I pretty much would be doing like 1 set of that and then going home.
That would do it.
Like if you did your squats that way, like you're just done.
Yeah, and the short breaks makes it even more intense. That's good stuff.
I like that, Angel. So yeah, there's in terms of, so I would say that those are the pros, right? Like maximum effort right away, triggering hypertrophy. You do also have the time under tension because you're still doing those nice, clean back off sets or whatever.
That gives you your volume too. You said it, 1 rep isn't going to give you hypertrophy.
Exactly.
It's going to give you strength. Yeah. It'll boost your strength. But you got to do the back off sets if you want to get hypertrophy in there with the same workout.
Definitely agree. And then last thing is that mental focus, like just knowing that the heavy set's done and you can do the others, you have that mental clarity to finish the workout cleanly. But in terms of cons, like again, the recovery demand is going to be high. That's going to be grueling because you're doing like these really nasty workouts. And you have to warm up. I would say the proper warm up is probably the hardest thing, and because you run the risk of injury if you're not fully warmed up before you hit that 1 rep max. And I think for many that's hard. It's a fine line between I'm warming up and I'm doing hypertrophy sets.
It is, especially your first one. After your first one, you're warmed up.
Yeah.
You don't need to warm up again, but your first one is tough to figure out. Am I properly and finally warmed up for the 1 rep max? Do I need to do another warm-up set? The
one thing I'll tell you guys, like warm-up sets don't have to be like, hey, I did 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps to warm up. It literally could be like 1 rep.
1 rep.
So I think sometimes we get hung around like the number of reps and things, but like you definitely don't want to go into your warm-up fatiguing yourself.
Yeah.
But it is difficult. Like if you've ever tried moving a lot of weight on like a squat or a leg press.
Bench press.
It's literally difficult to say, oh, I'm doing leg press. My warm up was with like 3 plates and now I'm going to put 9 on there. Like you need to kind of feel the weight in between, and usually not only just warming up the tissue, the ligaments, the joints, whatever, it's like a mental warm up too. So definitely fine line. I think if you're not properly warmed up, there could be some risk there. I think another con to this is form breakdown. I think if you're starting with really high load, sometimes you'll compromise the form just to get the lift, especially if you're a little less experienced. So
I see this all the time.
Yeah. So key takeaways from the reverse pyramid in terms of like who would benefit the most from doing that. I would say it's 100% an advanced lifter that has pretty specific goals. So if you were a beginner watching this, I would stick to your traditional pyramid set, and I would wait a couple years to start doing the reverse pyramids, in my opinion. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on doing some foam rolling for after you work out to help recovery?
That's fantastic, Terrence.
That's called myofascial release, buddy. And yeah, that's a good technique. It helps recovery, helps you recover faster.
Absolutely, especially if you notice that you have any muscle groups that are tight and they shouldn't be tight. Like, it's a great way to try to lengthen them back out after you've lifted.
Yeah.
So definitely a great concept to work into your workout after.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about a con that we haven't talked about for both of them, traditional sets and reverse pyramid sets, right? And this is why you don't see them very much. It's kind of boring. You're going in and doing one exercise.
That's true.
I mean, that's why you don't see it much. There's German volume training, 10 sets of 10. You don't see that much either. Why? It's boring.
Right.
You're going in and doing 10 sets of the same exercise for 10 reps, and then you're going home.
Right.
You're going in, you're doing a pyramid. You do the same exercise and just add weights, a couple sets, max out, and then you go home. It's boring, y'all. Come on. That's why you don't see it. That's another con. That's why you don't see it much.
But maybe you are limited in what equipment. Maybe you just have a barbell and some plate weights, and
there are some benefits.
All you can do is deadlift in a day. Like that might be a great application.
There's definitely some benefits to it. Don't get me wrong. And the way Angel does it is fantastic. Up and down with short rests in between. That's going to be a killer workout, man.
Yeah.
You're maxing out right at the peak, and then you got your pump sets down. That's
right.
And minimal rest. That's fantastic. But once again, it's one exercise.
Yeah. I hear you.
Great for saving time. If you're short on time. Great for a pinch. And it can be a great workout. But that's why you don't see it much,
Right.
If I'm going in and doing bench press and all I'm doing is bench press, I'm going, man, can I get a fly in here?
What do you think about, though? So we were talking about, like, the most benefits doing the compound lifts. But what about some of the accessories? It's like, what if you were trying to do a bicep curl pyramid set or side raises or something like that? How do you feel in terms of how effective that would be?
Same.
Yeah.
You're going to get your 1 rep max. You're going to get stronger. Leading up to it's going to be warm up. After that, it's going to be pump and volume, what you need for hypertrophy. So it's the same. Same applies. It's just, I would stick with compounds with it if you can.
Right. Yeah. So it's squats, deadlifts, bench press, like something where heavy work is like actually being prioritized is a good place to put, I would say, the pyramid sets, especially if it's something like where you've been working on the progressive overload and maybe you're getting stuck. So maybe a pyramid set's a good way to like break it up to help you over time with the progressive overload is another thing I was thinking could be beneficial.
Yeah, and if you're struggling with an exercise, like just say squats, you're struggling with squats. You go in there, do set after set after set after set after set.
Get better.
You're going to get comfortable with squats eventually. Yeah. Big T says Mensa was known for doing 1 set for 1 exercise and take a few days off from the gym. You are correct, sir.
Yes, he was.
That goes back to my reference to the light switch. So he did his 1 breakthrough set. He turned the biology of making muscles on. Now I'm going home and resting and letting the body make the muscles.
Right.
I did the damage. The damage is done with the 1 set. Now I'm going to go home and let it repair.
Right.
The problem with that is most people can't crank up the intensity like Mensa can. So most people miss the breakthrough set. And if you're only going in there and doing one set of one exercise, you better make sure it's a
Right.
breakthrough. Otherwise, you missed your whole day.
Definitely. So you were mentioning like it could be maybe boring to go in and do the one set, but maybe there's a way to kind of like mix the traditional pyramid set and the reverse set. So maybe you go in and you
Like
hit,
Angel does.
yeah, you hit the super nasty reverse pyramid sets on your compounds, your big heavy lift of the day, and then maybe you do a traditional pyramid set on the accessory lifts.
Oh.
So maybe you hit reverse pyramid on squats, and then you go in with the traditional pyramid on leg extension or something nasty. Like that would be a pretty nasty workout. I think you would have a lot of fun. It would challenge you for sure. It'd be pretty grueling. So definitely a way to mix and match those together, I think.
Yep. Slow and controlled sets on pyramids. No need in getting yourself hurt. Amen to that,
You said
Angel.
it, Angel, for sure.
Every exercise, every set of every exercise should be slow and controlled. You want the muscles to move the weight. You don't want momentum moving the weight. You want the muscles doing the work. You want the muscles getting the gains, not momentum, y'all.
The other thing I would say about pyramid sets, like you probably need to be willing to be flexible with the amount of rest time in between sets. You know, you might, if you're doing reverse pyramid sets, like you might need to rest longer. It might be 3 to 5 minutes between sets, depending on how nasty that was. Whereas like your regular pyramid set might be, you know, a minute, 2 minutes max. So be willing to compromise with that. It's not like a one size fit all kind of approach.
Correct. And anytime you're talking about 1 rep max, you're going to need more rest time than when you're doing a 40% 10 rep set, right? 1 rep max, you're going to need more rest than a 10 rep at 40%. Trust me on that.
Right. So yeah, to recap kind of from where we've come so far, we definitely said regular pyramid sets, awesome for beginners, maybe even intermediate, and save the reverse pyramid sets for your more intermediate to advanced lifters to help break that up. But in terms of like some pitfalls maybe of pyramid sets, you know, sometimes I think there's this tendency to rush the lighter sets so you can just like get to the heavier sets, and they're not designed to do that, right? They're designed to put the quality of work into those lighter sets. So just kind of pumping through those to hurry up and move on is not really giving you the benefit of why you did them in the first place. So
very well said. If you're cutting out the volume and all you're doing is warming up for your 1 rep max, then all you're going to get is your 1 rep max for gains, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get stronger from your 1 rep max, but you're not going to get too much hypertrophy if you don't put a little bit of something into those warm-up sets.
Yeah. And I think too, like with all the things that we talk about, first and foremost, you need to identify what your goal is. Is your goal hypertrophy? Is it strength? Is it, you know, something else, maybe endurance? Like, and then you need to align the strategy with that, right?
Correct. So I hinted at it earlier. Pyramid sets are traditionally powerlifting move. Because it's a 1 rep max, it's designed to make you stronger. It's designed to make your 1 rep max stronger. Powerlifting, y'all.
Right.
Powerlifting. So there's better techniques, intensifying techniques for hypertrophy. Not to say pyramid sets aren't good. They're not, you know, they should be worked in. And I told you, I'm going to say it again. I love the way Angel does them. A little bit of rest.
It's a good challenge for us all.
Up and down, get in and out of the gym, done. I love that. I mean, that's fantastic. But it's traditionally for a power lifter, it's traditionally to get stronger. There's better ways to get hypertrophy.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, you just have to consider them as one of many tools in your weightlifting toolbox. And, you know, you don't need to incorporate them. You know, you need to have a reason to incorporate them. I'll put it that way.
Yes, and if you've been playing this game as long as I have, as long as Angel and Big T and probably everybody on here has been doing this game, you want to try something different.
Sure.
Pyramid sets, if you haven't done them, they're going to be exciting because there's something different. So go ahead and try them out. If you haven't done them, try them out. Definitely, absolutely. Love them, hate them, you should try them if you haven't done them. Just realize it's going to get you more strength than hypertrophy.
I mean, I would be curious if there's people on there that haven't done pyramid sets, or maybe you haven't done it in a long time. I would love it if you guys tried it for a week and then compared and contrasted that back to your traditional weight training, and let us know what you think. You could put it right in this video.
For a whole week?
Sure, why not? Or just a workout. It could be just a workout. Like, go out there tomorrow, hit your pyramid set. Let me know how that compares to your regular training day.
Yeah, and it's been a while since I did pyramid sets, but remember what I told you. I've done all this stuff. I tried it because I was excited. It was new. I've never done it before. The 10 sets of 10 German volume training, I was done after like 5 sets. Yeah,
I'm feeling a challenge coming on. Like, maybe James needs to try to do a pyramid set tomorrow. It's his leg day. He did tell me it's leg day. What do you think, y'all? Should we challenge James to doing a pyramid set, a reverse pyramid set on leg day?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
You're going to have to tell me what exercise, because I'm not doing it on all of them.
Let us know what exercise James should do his reverse pyramid set on tomorrow for leg day. Type it right in there.
Squats or deadlifts. Those are your options.
I think he should have to finish with some traditional pyramid set on the leg extension and leg curl after doing his reverse pyramid on his squats or deadlifts.
I can do leg extension. I can't promise leg curl.
True. That's true. We do have the hammy injury, former injury. But yeah, all good stuff. Anything else on pyramid sets?
So it's not on pyramid sets, but if you all didn't know, as a creator, some of the hardest thing is coming up with content. So anytime we get a suggestion, we're like, yes. We do not have to come up with the content. You suggested it, and this channel is for y'all anyway. So if you have something you want to see, please leave a comment. Tell us what video you'd like to see. If it's live, tell us what you'd like us to talk about. Again, JFit, thank you for asking about the pyramid sets. We appreciate you, and we appreciate all the suggestions.
Yeah, and Tina, last week's topic on the cutting was awesome, and like how to do that. So we love that as well. Let's see. Angel says pyramids are a lot like compound movements. That's why I think both are fun, especially to mix up your workout. Yeah, I agree. It's a great way to mix it up. Thank you so much, Tina. She says she's been liking the topics.
Outstanding. If you got a suggestion for next week, we don't know what we're talking about next week yet. So anybody on here want to hear about anything next week, go ahead and put it in the comments. We'll get to it. Pyramid sets. I mean, I'm going back here.
Wow.
You're going to see them a lot in powerlifting and actually CrossFit. You see them a lot in CrossFit as well. You're not going to see them too much in hypertrophy training.
So Big T says, I'm big on doing pause sets that typically will get more sore from it and more muscle damage. We like rest pause too, Big T. It's a great technique. So you can do them different ways. I know James likes doing that 1 rep max, if you will, taking a short pause and then cranking out some more reps.
Yes.
I like doing it differently, where I'm hitting my hypertrophy range and then I'm pausing and extending the set.
You beat me to it. Which one are you doing, Big T? So, like Camille said, I go max weight, do it for 1 rep, rest 10 seconds, do another rep, rest 10 seconds. I do 4 reps with a 10-second rest, right? She does her set, goes to failure, rests for 10 seconds, and then keeps going. So
when I hear your way, I think of I'm trying to bust through a plateau. Like, that's what I think of when I hear that, because I think that would be a really effective technique if you're trying to build strength in a particular lift. Whereas when I do it my way, I feel like it's more geared towards hypertrophy as the primary mechanism.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, especially with the rep ranges and everything else. You know, that's when you do 1 rep, it's strength. It's going to be strength. You're breaking through on your strength. You're not breaking through on hypertrophy. You got to get at least 6 reps in to get the into the hypertrophy range, right? So you're right. You're right on that. Yours is geared towards more hypertrophy. Mine's geared towards more strength. But my way is nastier.
And thank you to whoever's hitting all of those hearts on there. I truly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Tina says we're the first people she's heard talk about breakthrough sets. I never heard that before, but always was aware that it existed.
Yeah. That's I got the term breakthrough set from Mensa, actually. I've never heard it before Mensa. It was just progressive overload.
Sure.
It's the same thing. As long as you're progressive overload, your one set is progressively overload. That is your breakthrough set. But I never heard it coined until Mensa said it, actually. So good, Tina. We never heard of it either before Mensa heard. All right, Chris Viscom. I want to see more fridge updates. I like seeing what people eat, or maybe a grocery store run.
Hey, that would be a good one. I like that.
Chris, I hate grocery shopping, man. She drives me along every week, and I hate it. So
that's
I don't
like
know
our
how
date.
good that
what are you
video
talking
is
about?
gonna be.
He likes it when I take him to like the big fun grocery store where they have like the samples and the fresh breads and the like gourmet butchered meats. Like then he's like, hey, let's go to the grocery store. But if I take him to like the local one down the yeah, you get the point. But Chris, we actually were just in the kitchen filming a video of his beef and potato stew
this
morning. So you'll see a short come out later this, probably this week or next week on the beef stew. We'll even put a recipe up there for you guys.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion, Chris. We do need to get more diet, more nutrition videos up. Most of our stuff is training.
Right.
But
I like it. Grocery store haul.
Yeah.
We'll do that one in the new year for you guys for sure.
There's a lot to it. I mean, diet and nutrition is a big part of this, and we should probably focus a lot more of this channel to that because, like I said, we're very heavy on the training end.
Right.
But I'm going to quote Mensa once again, right? Most North Americans are overnourished. So diet and nutrition is not the problem. It's training. You're falling short. You're not going intense enough on the training.
Not enough breakthrough sets, Tina.
Or you're not hitting that breakthrough set. I said it earlier, not everybody can train that hard. It is rare. It's grotesque. If you see it or you get there and you do it, it's grotesque. If you're looking at somebody going to failure or beyond, you're going, what is their body's twitching, they're sweating, they're spitting.
They're flinging boogers across the gym. That just happened this week. It was hilarious.
There's snot rockets coming out of their face. It's grotesque. It really is. And it's rare, and it's not many people can do it. I remember my buddy Frankie Dalton from Gold's Gym. He would just go so nasty. Unfortunately, he hurt himself too much and he retired, but he had a great physique, and I've never seen anybody go as hard as that dude would go. Just put every bit of his soul into that set. Whole body's twitching. He's still trying to lift the weight up. Boogers are coming out. He's tearing up. I mean, it's grotesque. You don't see it much. Believe me, I know everybody is in the gym all the time, and you do not see that kind of stuff in the gym very much.
Sometimes it can help too if you get a trainer or if you've got maybe like a friend that's an experienced advanced lifter. They can help call you out because I have a lot of clients where I'll say, I know you can do one more rep, like just do one more rep, and then they'll do it and they don't realize like they weren't hitting that level of intensity or their version of intensity is not truly where their limit is. So
and your body is designed to protect you. Your body doesn't want mass loads of muscle. There's no need in nature to have mass loads of muscle. So your body holds back. It's telling you, hey, if you lift this, you're going all out. You're going to give every bit of your reserves. Your body doesn't want to give every bit of your reserves. It wants to hold your reserves for life, not for mass muscle building. So you're actually fighting yourself, your body, your biology. I mean, all of it. You got to have that gut busting will to push through it.
For sure. So Tina, we are located in Maryland, about 40 minutes north of Baltimore. Yeah.
And Angel said, I like the shirt you guys are wearing. Right. These are the old school fitness shirts.
OG.
They're not the oldest, but they're older than the new design. When this one came out, I loved it, but I like the newer one better. This is the newer one here.
He likes anything with like a flexing emoji, skulls, like.
I'm a man. Of course I like skulls and flexing. Come on now.
Hilarious. But yeah, so great topic today. I hope you James has the challenge to go ahead and hit that pyramid set tomorrow. So. All
right. So Camille has to get up early and work out with me so I don't forget to do the pyramid set,
How could you forget?
it's not part of my regular routine, so I'm either gonna have to write it down, write myself a note, or Camille's gonna have to get up and work out with me early in the morning to remember.
Y'all, he wakes up at like 1:30, 2 a.m. and goes to the gym and gets it in. I'm usually still asleep until at least 4. I like either working out after my morning client if I don't have work, or at lunchtime. That's usually like my go time. Time I'm most awake, most alert, and able to like hit those loads. Definitely not 2 in the morning.
So my first client's at 4 a.m., y'all. I like to get up and at least do something, even if it's a half-hour cardio. I like to do something, and then get cleaned up and dressed and ready for work. Because after I train 1 or 2 clients in the morning, I got to haul right to work. I don't have time to shower and get dressed after that and then go to work, right? So that explains why I get up that early. And I've been doing it so long, I don't even set an alarm.
Yeah, he goes to bed pretty early too. It's usually around 6 p.m. at night he goes to bed. I usually will stay up a little later. I do have evening clients after I come home from work, so I'll stay up till about 9. So trying to get up, 1, 2 in the morning is just not for me. But
I like working out alone anyway. Yeah, I'm just messing with her, trying to get her out of bed.
He just gets in my way. It's funny, y'all. So I bought him a Smith machine for Christmas because I was like, great, we got the power rack. We'll have the Smith. We'll never be fighting because he's hogging it up. And now he's been doing things where he's like, all right, flat bench in the Smith, incline in the power rack, or hey, I'm doing front squats in the Smith and back. I'm like, what the hell?
True story. True story. We got 2 racks and it's just been worse than having one.
It's like all of a sudden it's like supersets in the rack. I'm like, okay, it's impossible to work out with you in here.
Big D says I got to work out in the morning. Just set your day right, and my energy's a lot higher. I agree, Big T.
Right.
I hit the ground running it when I wake up, brother. After lunch, I'm kind of ready to go back to bed.
Yeah.
But when I wake up 1:30, even midnight, I'm ready to rock and roll, baby.
I definitely am not all hype at like 8, 9 o'clock. We had one client, he loved working out in like the middle of the night. I'm like, I guess that works for you, but like I would never go to bed, y'all, if I was like hitting the pre-workout late at night.
Also, if I don't hit my workout first thing in the morning, I'm thinking about it all day.
True.
That's all I'm thinking. I'm not thinking about work like I'm supposed to be. I'm thinking about my workout, right?
Don't tell his boss.
Chris says, yep, mornings are best for me too. Outstanding. And Angel said, do you ever work the same body part twice a week?
Twice a day. Angel, did you actually ask us? Somebody asked us a very similar question on one of the videos this week. Yes, I think both James and I have done that, but it's not always ideal. Sometimes it's usually more so the case. Like I think it was yesterday, I wasn't able to finish my leg day. I still needed to hit calves, inner thigh, outer thigh, some hyperextensions. So in that case, I could see going at lunchtime or something and hitting those missing things. But I would not have like repeated my breakthrough squat sets or something like that.
Right. So I have done it before, Angel. I have done
doubles.
Double back workout in the morning, back workout at lunch, chest workout in the morning, chest workout at lunch. And I actually did it for 6 to 8 weeks to see what would happen. I didn't gain anything. And I think I tweaked my shoulder.
You think it was just overtraining?
Yeah. Yep, overtrain. Goes back to the light switch, right? Mm-hmm. You only got to turn it on once. The lights are on.
Right.
You only have to do the breakthrough set one time. Your body's making muscles. Once you send that signal, that biological signal to your satellite cells that you made muscles, you're done. You don't have to keep turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. Just turn it on. And then you're done.
I don't remember who it was. Someone this week asked about doing like bicep curls 2-3 times a day or something like that.
He's not on. He wanted to know if he could train biceps 2 days in a row, even 3 days in a row, or 4 days in a row. Right. So my answer was the golden rule is if you're sore, do not work them out. They are not repaired. They have not rebuilt if they're still sore. Once they are repaired and rebuilt and you're back to 100%, whether that's 3 days later, 4 days later, whatever it is, you can go ahead and hit biceps again. But if they're still sore, let them repair, let them recover.
And that's hard sometimes. You're
It
like,
is hard.
I want to go back into the gym. Like, that's my life, my routine, my habit. Like, what do I do? But, you know, Terrence had a great idea. Like, you could still go to the gym. You could foam roll, do that active recovery stretch.
Yeah.
So you don't always have to be like cranking up the weights or doing cardio or something just because you're at the gym.
Yes. So I will take rest days at the gym, y'all. I will walk on the treadmill, slow pace for a half hour. That's not even cardio. I'm barely getting my heart rate up, and then stretch and foam roll, just like Camille said. And it's fantastic. It's a recovery day.
Yeah.
I'm in the gym. I'm seeing my friends. I'm seeing my people, but I'm
Right.
not killing my body.
Yeah.
It's still a rest day.
Awesome. Right.
Good stuff. Anything else?
I think we're good. I mean, we definitely went through, I think, pyramid sets pretty thorough. You guys should really know what they are, both traditional and regular, who benefits from which one, how to work it into your routines by now. So, and if not, there's definitely a full-length video that goes through pyramid sets that's in one of our playlists.
Check it out. It's in the intensifying technique.
Yep, intensifying technique playlist. All right, y'all. Well, again, happy holidays.
Yes.
I wish you and your family the very best. I'm excited to interact with you guys in the new year and hear and learn about some of your goals and ambitions for the new year. I know James and I are excited. I'm really excited. I'm going to try to cut down for a show as soon as January.
What?
Okay, yeah.
Say it again. Say
We're
it
gonna
again.
cut down for a show.
There
So
you
I'm
go.
looking at an August show. This will be my first time competing in about 4 years at this point. So it'll be pretty exciting to be back on the stage. So you guys will see me transform in real time through the videos, through the live.
Watch her dominate.
You can ask me questions week to week, see how I'm doing. But it'd be pretty exciting. I know James has some pretty big ambitions too. So yeah.
2025 is going to be a big year, and she lost the try part, y'all. I'm going to cut down in January for a show in August, right?
Yep.
Do it or don't do it, baby. Do it or don't.
I hear ya.
Angel said I was just asking because I made that mistake, and I felt it was a big waste of time.
You're
and
right.
Lost chances of gains. I 100% agree, Angel, and I tried it myself, and I agree with the results. It was pretty much a waste of time. You're only as good as what you recover from, y'all, and that's a hard lesson learned.
Right.
Especially when you're young, because you want to keep going. You're motivated. You know,
Right.
You want to keep getting after it. You want to keep getting after it. But if you don't let yourself recover,
Right.
you're not going to make gains.
Yeah.
And you're going to get injured at some point.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Well, we will definitely see you next Sunday, and have a happy holiday
Yes.
between now and then, and we will see you then.
From 88 family to yours, happy holidays, whatever it is you celebrate. Enjoy it. We love you. Thanks for tuning in. Happy holidays, y'all.
Get those games.
Yeah.